Nature hides flowers so strange they seem from another world. From the monkey orchid, with its surprising face, to the crystal flower, which becomes invisible with water, each one defies logic. Discover these 15 botanical wonders that will leave you speechless. 1. Monkey orchid, Dracula simia. Hidden in the cloud forests of Ecuador and Peru, the monkey orchid, Dracula simia, is one of nature's most extraordinary species. Its appearance is a visual phenomenon hard to ignore. Its petals form a pattern that surprisingly imitates the face of a monkey, with spots resembling eyes, a central structure reminiscent of a nose, and a lower part that resembles a mouth. This resemblance is not an isolated case, but a fascinating example of pareidolia, the phenomenon by which humans identify familiar shapes in inanimate objects. However, its appearance is just one of the many reasons this orchid is so special. The scientific name of the monkey orchid is equally intriguing. Dracula comes from Latin and means little dragon, referring to the long hanging petals of some species of the genus that resemble dragon fangs. Simia, on the other hand, means monkey, a direct reference to the unusual shape of its flower. Its natural habitat is found in high mountain forests, at elevations of 1,000 to 2,000 meters above sea level. In these humid and cool environments, the Dracula simia grows as an epiphytic plant, meaning it does not root in the soil, but clings to tree trunks, absorbing moisture from the air and nutrients from decomposing matter. Beyond its striking appearance, this orchid holds another unexpected secret: its fragrance. While many orchids emit floral or sweet perfumes, the Dracula simia exudes an aroma that surprisingly resembles that of a ripe orange. This detail is no coincidence. The scent serves to attract its main pollinators, such as flies and bees, which mistake the flower for a food source and, in the process, facilitate its reproduction. Growing a monkey orchid outside of its natural environment is a challenge. This species requires very specific conditions: cool temperatures ranging from 10 to 22 degrees Celsius, high humidity levels above 80%, and a shaded environment that mimics the filtered light of cloud forests. Additionally, its blooming is unpredictable, making it an even more enigmatic plant. Its rarity and beauty have made it one of the most coveted orchids, but habitat destruction and indiscriminate collection have made its conservation a priority. The monkey orchid is a reminder that nature still holds astonishing secrets in the most unexpected corners of the planet. Its enigmatic beauty, its peculiar scent, and its mysterious habitat make it a true gem of the plant world. 2. Corpse flower, Amorphophallus titanum. In the heart of the tropical jungle, where life and death intertwine in an eternal cycle, blooms a unique creation of God, a manifestation of his mystery and power, the corpse flower, Amorphophallus titanum. In its grandeur and its stench, in its fleeting splendor and inevitable decay, this flower holds a divine message, a lesson for those who dare to behold it with the eyes of the soul. There is no other flower on earth like it. Its size defies all measure, reaching up to 3 meters in height, making it the largest inflorescence in the world. Its rarity makes it even more special, as it blooms only once every several years, as if creation wanted to remind us that great miracles do not happen every day, but at the time appointed by the supreme will. Its birth is an event that gathers crowds, who come with awe and reverence to witness its magnificence. But its beauty is not like that of the roses that scent the gardens of man, nor like that of the lilies that adorn the fields. The corpse flower, in its splendor, exhales a repellent aroma, a stench of rotting flesh that shocks the senses and confronts us with the fragility of life. It is a reminder that all that is earthly is temporary, that even the greatest of wonders wilts and disappears, like the body that one day returns to the dust from which it was made. However, in this apparent contradiction lies a message of hope. God has given the corpse flower a purpose, for its stench, which seems unbearable to us, is the irresistible call to scavenger insects, which come to pollinate it and ensure its offspring. Thus, in what seems like nothing but decay, there is also life. In what man despises, there is a divine plan at work. The Amorphophallus titanum teaches us that God's work does not always present itself as we imagine. Sometimes greatness comes in forms that are incomprehensible to us, but everything has a purpose under heaven. Like the corpse flower, our existence is brief, but if we fulfill our purpose, our legacy will remain. 3. Black bat flower, Taka chantrieri. In the darkest corners of creation, where light filters timidly and shadows seem to reign, blooms a flower that defies human logic and reminds us that God's design encompasses what we sometimes fear and do not understand. The black bat flower, Taka chantrieri, with its petals dark as night and its long filaments resembling the wings of a flying creature, is a divine manifestation that invites us to look beyond appearances, to find beauty in what many consider strange, to see the Creator's imprint in every corner of the world. Is not God's work diverse and mysterious? He gives us the splendor of field lilies and the fragrance of roses, but he also gives us the enigmatic Taka chantrieri, a flower that does not rise to seek attention, but resides in the shadow, hidden in the damp forests of Southeast Asia. Its black color, which many could associate with gloom, is actually a lesson about the depth of creation. God did not only make light, but also darkness, and both serve a purpose in the perfect balance of his plan. The filaments of the black bat flower hang like fine threads, resembling the wings of a nocturnal creature. Many might view it with suspicion, for the bat has long been a symbol of mystery, but in it there is also wisdom, a being that navigates darkness with confidence, guided by an inner voice. Does this not tell us that, even amidst uncertainty, God has given us tools to move forward? In its shadowy dwelling and unusual appearance, the Taka chantrieri reminds us that beauty is not only in what is radiant and colorful, but also in what is discreet and mysterious. It teaches us that every being in creation has a purpose, even those the world does not immediately understand. So too are the souls that, far from brilliance and grandeur, silently fulfill the divine will. God made all things with wisdom, from light to shadow, from the brilliance of dayflowers to the dark elegance of the black bat flower. In it, as in all creation, we can see his imprint and his infinite glory. 4. Flying duck orchid, Kalyana major. In the vast work of creation, where every flower, every tree, and every creature is a testament to God's infinite imagination, there is a small flower that defies human understanding and invites us to reflect on the greatness of the Creator. In the remote corners of Australia, hidden among the shrubs and forests, blooms the flying duck orchid, Kalyana major, a tiny gem whose shape resembles that of a duck in flight. In its delicate structure, in its almost celestial design, the hand of God is revealed, who, in his love and perfection, has endowed every being with an unparalleled uniqueness. Isn't it a miracle that a flower, without will or consciousness, has been shaped in such a way that it seems like a bird soaring through the sky? Isn't it enough proof that creation is not the result of chance, but of a divine mind that orders everything with purpose? God, in his infinite wisdom, not only dressed the fields with lilies and the mountains with majestic cedars, but also placed hidden wonders in remote corners that await being discovered by those who observe with attentive eyes. The Kalyana major not only imitates the shape of a bird, but it also interacts with the world with an intelligence that seems to surpass its nature. Its unique design is not a mere coincidence, but a divine mechanism to attract its pollinators. Male bees, which, mistaking the flower for a female of their species, approach it and, in their attempt to mate, transport pollen, thus ensuring the continuity of life. This is God's seal in all his creation, where every creature, no matter how small, fulfills a greater purpose in the perfect balance of the universe. The flying duck orchid teaches us that God's work is full of surprising details, and his love is manifested even in the smallest things. It is a reminder that every being, no matter how insignificant it may seem, has a divine purpose. Like this flower, sometimes our greatness lies not in our size or strength, but in the beauty and uniqueness with which we were created. And so, in the whisper of the wind that stirs the fields of Australia, in the flutter of a duck, and in the form of a flower that mimics flight, the voice of God is heard, proclaiming his glory throughout the earth. 5. Ghost face orchid, Dendrophylax lindeni. In the most hidden corners of creation, where light and shadow intertwine in a divine mystery, blooms a flower that seems not to belong to this world. Deep in the swamps of Florida, Cuba, and the Bahamas, suspended among the trees like a heavenly whisper, the ghost face orchid, Dendrophylax lindeni, defies our understanding of beauty and reminds us that God's presence is manifested even in the ethereal and invisible. It has no leaves, does not cling to the ground, and when it blooms, it seems to levitate in the air like a pure spirit, a reflection of the immaterial in the earthly world. Its spectral appearance is a reminder that the true is not always tangible, that many times the greatest miracle is not one that can be touched, but one that can be felt with the soul. Just as the wind blows without us being able to see it, yet we know it is there, so is the ghost face orchid. It lives clinging to trees, but its roots remain hidden in the bark, as if they do not exist. Only when it blooms on the humid summer nights does its white and radiant form reveal itself, floating in the darkness like a spirit sent from heaven. Isn't this a reflection of faith? Believing in what we cannot always see, but that manifests at the right time with a beauty that moves the heart. Its rarity and fragility have made it a coveted treasure, but not everyone has the privilege of contemplating it. It only blooms under perfect conditions, and its reproduction is difficult, as if God wanted only those with patience and devotion to witness its splendor. It reminds us that the greatest blessings do not come immediately, but to those who wait with faith and perseverance. The ghost face orchid is a symbol of the sacred, of the delicacy with which God adorns even the most remote places on earth. Its presence speaks to us of the divine mystery, of the invisible that sustains the visible, of the light that shines even in the darkness. In it, as in all creation, the greatness of the Creator is reflected, who, with his loving hand, has woven wonders that transcend the earthly and whisper to the soul the eternal message of his glory. 6. Jade flower, Strongyloidin macrobotries. In the secret gardens of creation, where God's beauty unfolds in forms and colors that challenge human imagination, a heavenly wonder blooms that seems not to belong to this world. Suspended in the air like a jewel from Eden, the jade flower, Strongyloidin macrobotries, hangs in clusters, with its emerald glow lighting up the shade of the tropical forests of the Philippines. Its splendor is no accident, for each petal seems to have been painted by the divine hand, like a reflection of paradise on earth. God, in his infinite creativity, not only dressed the fields with white lilies and filled the skies with colorful birds, but also placed deep in the jungle a flower that shines with its own light. Its iridescent green hue is unlike any other flower. It is a color that does not seem of this world, as if its essence came from a heavenly place. In it, the Creator reminds us that his glory is expressed in unexpected ways, that there is beauty hidden in the most remote corners, and that his presence manifests in every detail of nature. The Strongyloidin macrobotries not only astonishes with its color, but also with its form, which resembles the wings of an angel spread in flight. Its clusters fall in cascades, like blessings poured from above, like a silent prayer rising from earth to the sky. In its growth, we see the reflection of spiritual life. It does not strive to compete with other flowers, does not seek to impose itself with its size, but grows in harmony, extending its arms with grace and humility. But this flower is not only beautiful, it also depends on small and humble creatures to bloom. It is the bats that, in the darkness of night, pollinate its flowers and ensure its offspring. In this detail, we see the wisdom of God, who has given purpose to every being, even those that man despises or fears. The jade flower is a reminder that the most extraordinary beauty is often found where we least expect it. In its emerald glow, in its delicate bloom, in its silent dance with light and shadow, a divine message is hidden. That creation is a reflection of God's love, and that even in the thickness of the jungle, his glory shines with an eternal radiance. 7. Parrot flower, Impatiens psittacina. In the hidden corners of the world, where the hand of God has scattered his wonders with infinite creativity, blooms a flower that defies human logic and reminds us of the majesty of his work. The parrot flower, Impatiens psittacina, rare and mysterious, seems to have been shaped in the sky and placed on earth as a divine whisper. Its petals, with a shape that imitates a parrot in mid-flight, invite us to reflect on the miracle of creation and the presence of the Creator in every detail of the universe. Isn't God the greatest of artists? Just as he clothed the fields with lilies and filled the sky with stars, he also shaped a flower with the silhouette of a bird, as a reminder that his glory is manifested in both the small and the great, the visible and the hidden. The parrot flower, hidden in the jungles of Thailand, Myanmar, and India, blooms far from the eyes of the world, like a treasure reserved only for those who know how to seek with patience and faith. This flower, with its unique structure, teaches us that everything in creation has a purpose. It is not only a visual marvel, but its form has a sacred function within the balance of nature. Its design, which seems like a work of art, is meant to attract its pollinators, small insects that, by resting on it, fulfill the mission God has entrusted to them, carrying life from one flower to another. Thus, what to us is merely an image of beauty, is in fact part of the grand divine plan. Its rarity reminds us that not all blessings are easy to find. Some, like the parrot flower, require patience, effort, and watchful eyes to be discovered. God teaches us that his presence is everywhere, even in the most remote places and in the smallest creatures. Every time a parrot flower opens its petals to the sun, it seems to raise a silent praise to the heavens, like a bird in flight that sings without words the glory of its creator. In its form, its rarity, and its delicacy, this flower is a reminder that God's beauty is manifested in every corner of the world, waiting to be seen with the eyes of faith. 8. Passion flower, Passiflora spp. In the vast garden of creation, where every plant and every flower proclaims the glory of God, blooms one of the most amazing wonders that nature has received from its creator, the passion flower, also known as the passion fruit flower. Its complex structure, perfect symmetry, and vibrant colors seem to be from another world, as if the Lord had wanted to leave a heavenly signature in it, a tangible reminder of his power and wisdom. There is no other flower like the passion flower. Its petals form a harmonious base, while its crown of filaments rises with supernatural elegance. In the center, its stamens and pistils stand tall like a sacred throne, revealing divine perfection in every detail. It is a flower that seems to have been designed by heaven itself, with such precise geometry that it defies human understanding. But beyond its beauty, this flower carries a profound message. The early Christians who first saw it quickly recognized in its form the symbols of Christ's passion. Its 3 stigmas represent the nails with which he was crucified, its 5 stamens symbolize the sacred wounds, and its crown of filaments evokes the crown of thorns placed on his head. Its name is no coincidence. The passion flower speaks to us of sacrifice, unconditional love, and the redemption that God granted us through his Son. In its growth, we also see the hand of the Creator. It is a plant that clings to life with tendrils, extending and climbing with perseverance, like the soul that seeks to rise to God amidst the difficulties of the world. Its fruits, sweet and nourishing, remind us that from surrender and sacrifice comes abundance and eternal life. The passion flower is a testament that the beauty of God is not only found in the simple and delicate, but also in the majestic and extraordinary. In each of its filaments, in its vibrant colors, and in the story it holds, this flower invites us to meditate on divine love, to remember Christ's sacrifice, and to marvel at the perfection of the heavenly plan. God has left his mark on all creation, and in the passion flower, his message shines with eternal light. 9. Naked man orchid, Orchis italica. In the infinite creativity of God, where each creature is a perfect work of his will, blooms a flower that confounds and amazes, the naked man orchid, Orchis italica. In its delicate structure, which seems to resemble the silhouette of a small man with extended arms and legs, the mystery of creation is reflected, along with divine humor, and the Lord's ability to surprise us with his unique and incomparable design. God, in his wisdom, formed man from the dust of the earth and gave him life with his breath. But he also left in nature signs of his presence, small wonders that remind us of our connection to creation. The Orchis italica is one of those signs, a flower that, with its unique form, invites us to reflect on the greatness of the divine work. It is not a mere accident of nature, but a reminder that everything in the world has a purpose, even that which seems strange or unexpected to us. Like all orchids, this flower grows with patience, rooted in the earth but always seeking the light. In the same way, man must live, with feet firmly planted in faith, but with a heart elevated towards God. Its petals, which resemble tiny men extending their arms, teach us that we were created to praise, to extend ourselves in love and gratitude towards our Creator. The naked man orchid is a reflection of the diversity and ingenuity of God. In its strange beauty, there is a subtle but profound message that all his creation is perfect, that in every form there is a purpose, and that even the most curious and unusual carries the imprint of his eternal love. 10. Psychotria elata, kiss flower. In the infinite goodness of God, who fills the earth with beauty and meaning, blooms a flower that seems a symbol of divine love and the sweetness of creation. The Psychotria elata, known as the kiss flower, unfolds its fleshy red petals as if they were parted lips, ready to proclaim the glory of the Lord. It is no coincidence that this flower, hidden in the tropical jungles of the Americas, takes the shape of a kiss, for everything in nature speaks of God's love, which surrounds us in every detail of his work. From the beginning of time, God created us with a purpose of love. With his word, he shaped the heavens and the earth, and with his hands, he formed man and woman, breathing his breath of life into them. The kiss flower is a reminder of that closeness, of that inexhaustible love that God pours out upon his creation. Its petals, which resemble fiery lips, invite us to think of the sacred word, of the prayer that flows from our lips as a sweet offering to the Creator. Just as the flower opens to receive the rain and the sun, so must we open our hearts to God, allowing his love to transform us. Its vibrant red color is a symbol of passion, but also of Christ's sacrifice, who redeemed us with his blood and gave us the promise of eternal life. In every corner of nature, the Lord leaves signs of his love. The kiss flower is one of them, a reminder that we were created to love, to share beauty, and to praise God with every word and every action. 11. Hydnora africana. In the deepest corners of creation, where man's gaze rarely rests, God has hidden wonders that challenge our understanding and invite us to meditate on his infinite wisdom. The Hydnora africana, a flower that grows underground and only emerges when it is its time, reminds us that God's work is not limited to what is visible. His glory also extends to the hidden, to what waits patiently for the moment of revelation. This flower, emerging from the soil like a strange mouth, as if the earth itself were speaking, shows us that God creates without limits, with an imagination that surpasses ours. It has no stem or leaves. It doesn't grow like other flowers, but its purpose is clear. With its strange shape and strong scent, it attracts the pollinators who will ensure its offspring. So too is God's work in our lives. Sometimes his plan does not follow the path we expect. Sometimes his purpose seems incomprehensible. But everything he does has meaning and a perfect reason. The Hydnora africana teaches us that what is truly valuable is often not on the surface, but deep down in what is not immediately seen. Just as this flower waits patiently underground until the right moment to bloom, God calls us to trust in his timing, knowing that even when we don't see his hand, he is working in secret. Everything in creation proclaims God's glory, even what seems strange or unusual to us. The Hydnora africana is a reminder that his power is manifested in all forms, from the most delicate to the most surprising. 12. Stapelia gigantea. In the vast work of creation, where everything has a purpose under God's gaze, a plant blooms that both confounds and amazes. The Stapelia gigantea, with its strange star-like shape and foul odor, seems a contradiction within natural beauty, but it also hides a divine message. God, in His infinite wisdom, did not only create fragrant roses and pure lilies, but also flowers that challenge our understanding, reminding us that all His work has a purpose, even that which the world considers unpleasant. This flower, which mimics the texture and smell of rotting flesh, does not do so by accident or whim. Its design is perfect for attracting its pollinators, flies and other insects that, thinking they have found food, carry the seed of its future life. Thus, God shows us that even in what seems repulsive, there is a plan, that His hand guides every detail of creation, and that nothing exists without a sacred reason. The Stapelia gigantea teaches us that appearance is not everything, that what we see and smell with our human senses does not always reflect the true purpose of something. God does not look as man does. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Just as this flower fulfills its mission regardless of human prejudices, so too must we trust that, even though we may not always understand our path, God has created us for a divine reason. Even in the strange, in the unusual, and in what the world rejects, the Creator's signature is found. The Stapelia gigantea is proof that everything in nature, from the most beautiful to the most puzzling, proclaims God's glory. 13. Bee orchid, Ophrys apifera. In the perfection of creation, where every creature has its purpose and every form reflects the Creator's wisdom, one of nature's most astounding wonders blooms, the bee orchid, Ophrys apifera. In its design, which closely imitates the appearance of a bee, we see God's signature, who has arranged everything with order and harmony, ensuring that even the smallest of His works plays a role in His grand plan. It is no coincidence that this flower takes the form of an insect. It is not a mere whim of nature. It is a testimony that God cares for even the smallest detail. The bee orchid lovingly deceives male bees, attracting them with its shape and even its scent, so that in their attempt to find a mate, they end up transporting pollen from one flower to another. Thus, the cycle of life is fulfilled, just as God arranged from the beginning of time. This miracle reminds us that the Lord provides for all His creatures. He not only feeds the birds of the sky and clothes the lilies of the field, but He has also equipped this orchid with the means to survive and multiply. If God cares for a simple flower with such precision, how much more will He care for us, who have been created in His image and likeness? The bee orchid is proof that in creation, there are no mistakes, only hidden wonders waiting to be discovered. In its delicate strategy, in its subtle beauty, God shows us that each being has its place, that each of us fulfills a purpose, and that, just like this flower, we are called to trust in His perfect will. 14. White bat flower, Tacca integrifolia. In the vastness of creation, where God has displayed His glory in endless forms and colors, a flower blooms that seems like a celestial mystery, a divine sign hidden in the most remote corners of the world. The white bat flower, Tacca integrifolia, with its snow-white petals and long filaments that fall like threads of light, is a reminder that even in the most strange and enigmatic, God's perfection shines. Upon observing its shape, which evokes the wings of a bat in mid-flight, we cannot help but marvel at the imagination of our Creator. In its pure and radiant white color, we see reflected the light of truth, the purity of the divine, the grace that covers all creation. God, who clothes the sky with stars and shapes every flower of the field, has also shaped this jewel of nature, giving it a singular beauty that defies human understanding. But the white bat flower is not just a display of splendor, it is also a symbol of God's wisdom. Like many of His works, it grows in hidden places, in the shadow of tropical forests, far from the eyes of the crowd. Thus, the Lord teaches us that not all glory is loud, that true beauty is often found in humility, in secrecy, in what blooms far from the pride of the world. This flower, with its long filaments that seem to fall like tears of light, reminds us that God manifests Himself in all forms, in the visible and the hidden, in the common and the extraordinary. His work is infinite, and in every corner of nature, His love unfolds like a miracle waiting to be discovered. 15. Crystal flower, Diphilea grayi. In the infinite perfection of creation, where God has imprinted His wisdom in every detail, there exists a flower so delicate and astonishing that it seems a reflection of the divine. The crystal flower, Diphilea grayi, with its white petals that, upon touching water, turn completely transparent, is a symbol of the soul, which, when purified by the grace of the Lord, becomes clean and radiant before His presence. Nothing in creation is by chance, and this flower reminds us of that in a sublime way. When water descends upon it, like a celestial blessing, its petals stop concealing their interior and transform into pure crystal. Thus is the heart of the believer when touched by the Holy Spirit. It leaves behind all opacity, all stain of the world, and presents itself as it is before the eyes of God, without fear, without guilt, with the purity that only He can grant. The crystal flower grows in the shadow of forests and on the heights of mountains, in places where few see it, but where its beauty blooms in fullness. Thus, God acts in our lives, often in secret, in silence, away from the noise of the world, transforming our souls in ways that only the eyes of faith can perceive. Each time rain falls on this flower and turns it into a mirror of light, it reminds us that only in God do we find the true transparency of the Spirit. May our hearts, like the crystal flower, become pure in contact with His love, reflecting His glory, so that all who look upon us see in us the perfect work of the Creator.